What is up, my butter biscuits? In today's video, I thought it would be really fun to be just a little bit shady and talk about the biggest beauty scandals in 2023. Now, I do want to say, when I say beauty scandals, I mean with like beauty influencers, beauty brands, all of that types of things, okay? So I'm just letting you guys know there is one specific topic that I do want to talk about within today's video that is not technically beauty related, but it does have to do with a beauty influencer. So that's what we're going to be talking about within today's video, because I was like, you know what? We're going to do a little bit of a year recap and talk about like the biggest drama of 2023 right before the year ends. I do have to say, in my personal opinion, I don't really feel like there was too many big scandals of the year. Like, to be quite honest with you guys, I feel like in previous years, especially within the beauty space specifically, there has been so much toxicity and so much drama that I feel like this year was really mellow in my personal opinion. But I'm just kind of like used to all the drama within the beauty space. Honestly, you know what's so crazy? Even before like all of the like beauty community on social media, I felt like even in real life, the beauty community is like really toxic, y'all. Like when I worked at Mac, oh my God, y'all, I had to leave that place because I was like, this is just too much. I don't know why there's so much competition. I don't know why there's so much backstabbing, people talking about you behind your back and stuff. I'm just like, whoa, this is too much. And then I worked at a salon, and the same thing in a salon too. So I'm like, y'all, I do want to say, I just feel like it comes with the territory. I don't know why there is no reality TV show circled around the beauty industry, because I just feel like there is so much cattiness, so much competition, and so much just, I don't know, toxicity. You know what I mean? So I'm like, y'all, just keeping it real. I'm surprised that like E! Entertainment or Bravo hasn't like signed up for a show for this, because I really do feel like it'd be some good content. So anyways, we're going to be going over the list, and this is obviously just based on my opinion of kind of what I thought was the biggest like scandals or dramas that had happened throughout 2023. It's just my opinion. Obviously, there's no like, I'm not getting any like news source on this or reading from an article, just letting you guys know. So if you guys are interested in that, of course, go ahead and keep on watching. Make sure you guys click the link down below, head over to my podcast. Starting in January, I will be uploading onto that channel, and I have to tell you guys, I feel so like brand new. Like, I don't know, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. Like, I obviously get sad with this channel because I just feel like my numbers are just really dying, but I don't care what, y'all, I'm still gonna go after my dreams. And I really do feel like for the longest time, y'all know that, those of you that watch my videos, y'all know that I wanted to have a podcast for so long, and I'm finally just saying, screw it, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna have a nice setup, I'm not gonna have nice mics, I'm not gonna have all the nice, you know, fancy stuff that other podcasts have, but it's gonna be my very own. And I'm having so much fun doing my little show with Jelly on here. If you guys have not checked out my Sunday videos, y'all, I have been having a blast. It is literally so much fun, and I really do hope that that channel grows. So make sure you guys go show some love over there. And starting in the first week of January, we'll be uploading our very first podcast onto that channel. And then also, I'm gonna figure out how to make the podcast available on audio only platforms. I have to like figure that out with like Audible and like Spotify and things like that. I have no idea how to do that, but I'm gonna try to figure it out. So make sure you guys go show some love over there. I would really appreciate it. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up too. Let's go and get into it. Also, before we get into my little list that I created over here, just letting you guys know, once again, this is my opinion. Also, I kind of ordered them in which order I thought was like the least dramatic to the most dramatic. Do you know what I mean? And once again, it's based on my opinion, obviously, because I don't want anybody thinking like, oh, was this really like the biggest drama? Like, was this really the biggest scandal? And maybe there are some things that I did forget to mention within today's video as well too. So just letting you guys know, this is basically just what is like fresh in my mind and what is kind of stuck with me in 2023. Just letting you guys know. So the very first thing, which I personally don't think was really too much drama, but of course it was a big deal to some people. If you guys do not remember, this actually happened in, I want to say, April or March. Around that time, Manny Mua went on a trip, a brand trip with Urban Decay Cosmetics. They went to Coachella, and he actually did this little get ready right here, where he is putting on the Quickie Concealer from Urban Decay, and he was out enjoying the night, and somebody that worked for Hourglass's social media account went up to Manny Mua and was like, oh, hi, I'm a fan of yours, you know, how are you, blah blah blah. And Manny Mua had said, oh my gosh, I love Hourglass, I'm wearing their concealer right now. So this person had went about it and said, hey, can we film a quick little TikTok? Which, by the way, I do want to say this, like, I feel like that's super awkward, like, especially for Hourglass. Honestly, I feel like they're such a big company, such a like reputable company too, for them to have their social media influencers just going and trying to gather like content like that without it being practiced, rehearsed, or on top of that paid. Do you know what I mean? I thought this was kind of like out of the blue, and I do have to say, if I was in Manny Mua's shoes, I really would have felt awkward about this. I'd have been like, this is like weird. Like, how do I turn this down? What do I say about this? So basically she said, okay, we're gonna go ahead and do this little TikTok. And then he had said, oh yeah, I'm wearing the Hourglass concealer. But everyone was calling him out because they were like, wait, you literally just filmed a get ready with me this same day using the Urban Decay Quickie Concealer. And he had mentioned within his podcast that he did layer his concealers, that he did use both of them. So I do want to say, within this instance, honestly, y'all, I was like, I literally mixed stuff all the time. Like, it's so hard for me to like say, oh yeah, I use specifically this or that. Do you know what I mean? Especially when it comes down to concealers. This is so weird, but I like to use my KVD one right here, like right in the creases, and then surrounding that I love to use the Makeup by Mario concealer to brighten. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, technically it's both. So I'm like, I don't really feel like he was lying about it. I really do think that he was using both, because sometimes mixing concealers is really, really good. And then on top of that too, if you have different concerns in different areas like me, like I feel like if I were to use the KVD all the way to kind of like where my cheekbone starts, I feel like it gets a little bit too thick for that area. That's why I like the Makeup by Mario kind of in the perimeters of my eye, and I like the KVD just right up where I have my wrinkles. But yeah, overall, I honestly don't even really think that that was too big of a scandal. But in my personal opinion, once again, I just don't feel like there was too many things that have popped off this year. So I do want to put that on the list, because I know a lot of people were talking about it, and a lot of people were saying, okay, man, you're coming off like a liar, which I totally do get, especially for the people that watched his Instagram reel where he's putting on this Urban Decay concealer, but then he's also doing a video later that night saying, oh, I'm wearing the Hourglass one. It's like, wait, which you literally said that you were wearing this one. I get it, but then also I totally do understand wearing two different concealers, especially with foundation. Y'all, I mix foundations all the time, so I feel like this is just something that is common in my personal opinion. Next up on the list, now this one right here is the one that I was referring to in the beginning of this video, that it's not technically beauty related, but it does have to deal with Jaclyn Hill. If you guys don't remember, y'all, and I'm so sorry, I just feel like time after time when it comes down to Jaclyn Hill, I just feel like she is just a proven liar, and I think that that sucks. This is why when I make my Michaela Nigma videos, I'm like, y'all, I see so much potential within Michaela that I hope that she doesn't go down this path as Jaclyn Hill has, or where she'll just sell out for everything. Well, this right here, I think was a really, really big deal, because she did put out a fellow creator's brand. If you guys don't remember, this creator right here, I want to say, you know what, I want to say her name was Kaylin. I don't have it right here in my notes. I probably should have put it in there, but she had a brand called Coz. I guess she pronounced it as Coz, and then Jaclyn pronounced it as Cozy. Y'all, I just want to go ahead and say, I think it's really, really messed up. As I've said before in several videos, I do think that legally what Jaclyn did was actually okay. Like, legally speaking, when I was making my videos about this, I think a lot of people were getting it twisted, and they were saying, well, wait, what she did was wrong. It was just wrong in general. And I'm like, well, legally speaking, no, what she did was not wrong, because this brand did not cover their end and copyright or trademark their brand. Do you know what I mean? But obviously, time after time, Jaclyn Hill has stolen so many different things from other creators and not credited them. I think it's really, really messed up. But if you guys don't remember, this influencer actually had to close her brand. And then now Jaclyn Hill, who was coming out with this whole line of stuff, which in my personal opinion, this is just my opinion, I never purchased anything from the brand, I kind of felt like it was like private label. Do you know what I mean? Where basically she bought it from China and just put her label on it, and that was just pretty much it. That was just my opinion. But now she is closing her Cozy brand, or has already closed her Cozy brand, which I'm like, so you put this girl out of business, out of her whole name. She had to change up her whole entire aesthetic, her whole entire brand, and then you're literally closing yours too within the same year. I'm like, yo, I don't know. I just feel like that's really messed up. Also, I do want to point out too, because I thought it was really shady that her brand Cozy, literally, if you guys look at these logos, look at once again, I hope her name's Kaylin. Look at Kaylin's sweater. The actual font and Jaclyn Hill's font look so similar, and I'm like, y'all, to me it's just so shady. Like, how are you blatantly gonna steal from a brand, and then on top of that too, make a logo that looks so similar? So I know this wasn't beauty related, but it does have to do with Jaclyn Hill, and she is a beauty influencer, so I think this was up on the list as far as beauty related scandals for 2023. Next up on the list, we have the launch of James Charles brand Painted. If you guys have not seen, I did pick up his palette and I did do a review of it. It's on my channel. If you guys are interested, you guys can go ahead and check it out. The reason why I put this on the list is because there is so many people, and I mean thousands upon thousands of people, that are really upset that he did come out with a brand. So I do feel like this is a beauty scandal of 2023. At the end of the day, I know that James Charles has done a lot wrong, but the only thing that I can really say about everything is hopefully he does learn from it, he does change, and he does grow into a better person. But I do want to say, with like so many accusations, it's kind of like, okay, as I've said before, there's no smoke without a fire. Another thing that I want to say is too, is I do believe it was in 2023, somebody can fact check me on this if I am wrong, but I believe that he came out with a whole article where it was titled James Charles would like to be uncanceled, and within this interview he actually said that his brother hasn't spoken to him. And I said, this is where things, to me, in my personal opinion, look extremely shady, because no matter what, if my brother believes in me, my brother is going to stand by my side, and my brother's not going to not speak to me if there's no truth to some things. Do you know what I mean? So this is where I'm like, wait, I was so confused with everything when it comes down to James Charles, because in my personal opinion, you guys know how I am, I'm all about redemption, and I really do think people can learn and grow and make mistakes. Like I've said it before, even with Jeffree Star, I feel like, look, before in the past he said some really offensive things, some really outlandish things, but I really feel what you have done in the past doesn't define who you are in the future, and I feel like you can learn and grow from that. But I really do think, and this is just my opinion, that James Charles dug his grave a little bit deeper when he even went out there and said that his brother is not speaking to him, because everyone's like, whoa, hold up, clearly there's some type of truth to this if your brother is not speaking to you. Do you know what I mean? But anyways, nonetheless, I do want to say it was very controversial when he did come out with his brand Painted. As you guys know, I did a review of his paints, the yellow one specifically, and I thought it was absolutely horrible. The palette was actually pretty good. Like I said, you guys can watch the review here on my channel, but the paints, I'm like, y'all. And you know what's really crazy too is so many people on TikTok, and I'm like, are they just kissing James Charles' ass or what? Because so many people are like, these are the best paints ever. And look, I'm gonna go ahead and say this for like the 500,000th time now. I picked up the yellow one because I only wanted to buy one, of course. And I was like, you know what? If the yellow is good, that means the rest of them are good, because the yellow is the hardest to create. Do you know what I mean? So I do want to say that, but I'm like, damn, everybody is eating them up. And I'm like, that yellow one was absolutely horrible. Like, I like the Halsey one better, in my opinion. Moving next, this one to me was comical, y'all. I put it up on the list only because I do feel like this had so much like media outlets talking about it, so many like, you know, news outlets on Instagram, whether it be the Shade Room or the Neighborhood Talk, they were all talking about this, and I just thought it was comical in my personal opinion. If you guys do not remember, Carrion had came out and basically alluded to the fact that he was hooking up with Blueface the rapper, y'all. And I'm so sorry, but this was like the messiest thing, because he put out this video where he was like licking this guy who was like fully tatted, so people were obviously like, oh my gosh, that is Blueface. I'm gonna keep it so real with you guys. When I first saw that too, because obviously I was like, wait, all the like tattoos and everything, and then Carrion had also put out DMs too that like, oh, Blueface DM'd him. Do you know what I mean? I was like, oh my gosh, this is like for real, you know? Like, I literally was believing it at first, and then it all came out that he was making the whole entire thing up. And you know what? I do want to say this. I think that this whole thing was comical, but if I was him, I low-key would be a little bit scared, because I'm like, y'all, Blueface has already said before that he is, you know, people. So I'm like, why would you get out there and make up this rumor? Like, I'm so sorry, but I do have to say that Carrion has some balls on him to get out there and make a rumor like this, and that went viral. His video had millions upon millions of views. Blueface himself even addressed the situation, and he put out all types of DMs from Carrion that Cole was the one hitting him up. And I just thought this whole thing was hilarious. I do want to say, luckily, Blueface was like being a good sport about it and didn't really get too crazy with it. Do you know what I mean? Because I feel like this could have turned ugly like real fast. But I do have to say, nonetheless, I thought it was really entertaining, and on top of that too, it was a really big scandal, especially if you guys follow like all the blog sites, like all the like TMZ sites, because this was like, what? Because a lot of people were believing it, myself included. And the second to last on the list is Morphe officially closed all of their stores in 2023 here in America, at least. I have heard before that there may be one open in a couple other countries that I don't remember, but in the US they have closed all their stores. And I do have to say, I found that to be really sad. You guys know I have my beef with Morphe, but at the end of the day, I'm like, y'all, that's a business right there that was providing so many jobs, like literally thousands upon thousands of jobs, and so many people lost their jobs. So I do want to say, I think that's really messed up, but I think that they really played their cards really bad, y'all. Like, choosing all the influencers that they did and solely relying on influencers to build their brand. I think that they did mess up with that. I think they should have had a little bit of in between. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've always said before, I feel like Mac should do more collaborations with influencers, but I think that they're probably watching from Morphe and saying, you know what, maybe collabing with only influencers is not a good thing, because it could really drive your brand down to the ground. Obviously, Morphe took a big hit, like when they stopped working with James Charles, they stopped working with I want to say Nikita Dragon, with Jeffree Star. I'm like, the list goes on and on and on. People were like, okay, why are you working with all these people? Do you know what I mean? And they weren't having it. So they did release their statement, and this is what their statement said right here, in case you guys don't remember. It says, we have made the difficult decision to close all Morphe stores in the US. We are forever grateful to our store teams for their passion, talent, and dedication over the years. Customers can continue to shop Morphe online and at select retailers. Morphe stores outside the US will remain open. So this was actually posted January 5th of 2023, right in the beginning of the year. I do want to say all my local Ultas do still sell Morphe, so I know that they still have their products there. And y'all, I don't know if you guys have seen my recent video, but I told you guys, like, they had the big old bottle. I don't know if it's like a 6 ounce or what. It was like a big old bottle of their setting spray. It was on sale for $9, and I picked up 2. Just letting you guys know. I'm like, y'all, that was like my first product from Morphe that I purchased in a long time. I did want to try their new setting spray, but I never picked it up because I'm too cheap. I couldn't pass up those big old bottles for $9, to keep it real with you guys. And, of course, the last on the list, which I think was the biggest beauty-related scandal of 2023, was the whole Lashgate drama with Michaela Nigma. You guys know I have talked about this mascara so many times this year because this was such a big deal. This was the infamous mascara right here, the L'Oreal Telescopic Lift, which I do have to say, it is a great mascara. It's a really, really good mascara, and it's so crazy because I think I told you guys even when in my review, I don't like this style of brush. This has like those really, really spiky fibers on it that are almost plastically. Actually, I think it is plasticky, to be honest with you. And I like more of a bristle, you know. This mascara was a great mascara, but I do want to say this made headlines. I want to say that she got like the most views that she ever got on a video from that. I do want to say after all these months, I think it's really wild that nothing came out with the FTC. Like they never got any type of complaint. And I do want to say ever since the Lashgate drama, if you guys have not recently seen, I did do a full compilation video of all the times that Michaela Nigma has been caught lying on TikTok for sponsorship. So I do want to say, I feel like she needs to like learn from this year, really take that in. Like, honestly, please don't sell yourself out. I just really think at the end of the day, you can work with any brand that you want to. Don't lie about it. Do you know what I mean? But nonetheless, that Lashgate drama, y'all, that blew up on TikTok. Like everyone and their mom was talking about it because everyone was like, oh my gosh. I'm telling you guys, it felt like that blue dress drama all over again. Like, oh, is it blue and I was gonna say red. Is it blue and black or is it white and gold? Everyone was like, is she wearing a lash? Is she not wearing a lash? And she swears up and down that she was not wearing a lash. I recently did just do a video about this too, where Douse Mendoza was on Trisha Paytas's podcast, and he said that he asked her straight up, like, girl, were you wearing a lash? And supposedly she literally swore to him that she was not wearing a lash. And I'm like, there ain't no way in hell. I am so sorry. I don't know who she is lying to, but she was definitely wearing a lash. I do not care what she says. I'm like, girl, you are a liar. Anyways, that wraps it up for 2023 as far as beauty related drama. Let me know what I forgot down below, or what do you guys think should be on the list. Once again, this was just my opinions and kind of things that like stayed fresh in my mind that I just jotted down in my notepad, but I'm sure I missed some really big things. And on top of that too, I'm sure there's probably some things that I should have added to this video, but then I'm like, y'all, that would have just turned into a whole podcast. This would have been like a 2-hour episode if I were to talk about every single beauty related drama, because y'all know how that goes. It just keeps going and going. So make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about everything. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, Girl Scout.